Thank you to the T5 peeps. Bob the Dragon, Datamagnet, Cat Crab Lobster, DuckMachine, Try Again 95, Astraya the Dreamer, Mezec, Feudic Jarl, Germanchemist, Casper Arnholtz, and Chaos to Must. Thank you very much. Story number 1. A Rule to Live By. Written by Redshift Razor.
Jeremy, you humans are very different to what you seem to be. Mind explaining what you mean by that, Blue? According to multiple sources within your own database, humans are a group of diverse species, each one united by a love for one thing. The one thing is pure, unbridled degeneracy. Blue, mind explaining to me what you mean? I feel that this may be another misunderstanding. Firstly, how can there be lots of different types of humans? I'm sure I'd be aware of them, given that I am a human myself. Jeremy, we've long since established that you're not the brightest. I wouldn't put it past you to be unaware of the full extent of your species. Don't worry, though, with my guidance, you will soon have a full understanding of the nuances that your people possess. Whatever you say, Blue. Excellent. Okay, where should we start? I've come across so much in your data space, I don't know where to begin. I suppose that the best thing about you humans, you really let the creativity flow. If you weren't such degenerates, I would commend you. Now, why would you call us degenerates? We're not even that bad compared to some of the other species out there. That may be true, but an unrestricted data net provides an excellent window into the psyche of a species. From what I saw, the human psyche is an absolute fucking hellhole. The amount of self-restraint humans have is honestly commendable, given the disgustingness that's on your minds all times of the day. Blue, I feel that there has been a major misunderstanding. Why do you think that humans are degenerate? Jeremy, I want you to answer this question. Is it not true that wherever you may go and whatever creatures you may come across, that each species has a specific set of rules they apply to them? Like you can't give a black Silurites cheese, otherwise they'll go nuclear. Well, yes, I suppose that is a good example. Anyways, on my research for the rules that humans abide by, I came across a certain forum dubbed Rule 34. So I assumed it was either a list of some kind or a breakdown of the 34th rule you humans follow. I'm sorry. No apologies will ever make up for what I was subjected to. I was so shocked, not only at the number of creatures depicted, but also the subjects of the drawings, that I froze up. At least you didn't see any more. Jeremy, my computer was set to auto-scroll. I'll cover the therapist. No need. I've already booked and paid for sessions every night for the next month. I fear they may not be enough. Again, I'm so sorry you were subjected to that. It honestly pains me to think that there are humans out there who would subject themselves to acts depicted in those drawings. To think that every single one of them depicts a real act disturbs me like nothing else ever has. Blue, what do you mean by that? When you think, each of those drawings required a real-life model, no? No, they didn't. So, you humans come up with the shit on the spot, off the top of your heads, spontaneously, off the cuff. Well, yes, that's exactly it. I don't know whether that's better, or worse.
End of story. Story number 2. Humans Love Their Marble. Written by Pickpocket.
I would like to thank the Chitauri Envoy for their words on the subject. However, I and the Tazarian Union will not speak in favor of their proposition, but rather in denunciation of both the Chitauri and the Orin propositions.
Pausing, the creature waited for the boos and jeers to settle down before continuing. Their odd, almost feather hair fluctuating from a deep red to a vibrant purple coloration.
Neither would seem have taken the time to consider— How dare you! The Chitauri have sent members of this Federation for many, many centuries longer than you upstarts. Sit down! We are much as members of the Federation as the Chitauri, the Orin, and even the ancient Velcris. We will have our time to speak our mind. Shall we ask the Tau representative how their holy war went? Or perhaps you might like to question the Xenophage as to what occurred to the Battle of Starless Gulf. Or how about the Malia Ascendancy and their great Star Road? No, none of you might raise your voice to question these aggressors on their wars with humanity. A deathly silence settled over the chamber. 100 different species sat in attendance, but none could speak for the Tau, as none now remained. The Xenophage were a devouring scourge, one who had terrorized the entire galaxy for a millennia, yet had fallen silent after the Starless Gulf. And the Ascendancy, they had fled the galaxy entirely after the colossal failure of their plans. The Thesarian envoy allowed themselves a single, brief moment of satisfaction before continuing. But of course, he cannot. 3 powers have cast themselves upon the steel of humanity, and 3 powers have been shattered. The Tau was superior to humanity in every aspect, and the home system burned. The Xenophage outnumbered the humans 100 to 1. Their swarm burned. The Ascendancy held secrets even the Federation could barely understand. Their empire burned. To use a humanism, once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, 3 times a pattern. Understand this, and you will understand the consequence of your actions. The humans are not some pest to dispose of. They are not some scourge to be scoured. They are just a Tiyaki beast, best left unprovoked, lest it tear your village to the ground. As silence reigned with the fading representative's words, the sounds of papers and representatives shuffling in their seats perfectly framed the circumstances of their gathering. Fear. As much as I would like to disagree with my Thesarian counterpart, their assessment is almost perfect. However, the Tau were only superior in technology. The average human, as you have seen them, is but a shadow of their true power. We have studied them. Humans do not use their full strength when they run and jump and live. When they are in danger, their bodies pump enough high-power combat stimulants into their bloodstream to kill 10 Goran death stompers. Their muscles are powerful enough to snap their own bones, and by extension the bones of almost every race here. Physically, they are not the largest or the strongest or even the fastest. Yet, when considered all as one, the humans can outrun even the finest scary sprinters over a period of a kilometer, and do so with ease. They have advanced technologically in 300 years to a point many members here required a millennia to achieve. And when it comes to warfare, they put even the greatest commanders of the Silithan and the vaunted Tazari fleet masters to shame. Yet despite all of this, they watch our stations and ships with wonder. They learn our languages and our customs. They don't know they are superior. I propose we do not incite this discovery any sooner than it must come. To the cries of, "He'll burn the galaxy," and "Suffer not the human plague," a vote was called and an answer rendered. A galactic federation would force humanity back to their border system and imprison them there for eternity, lest they become a second Xenophage. Seeking to mitigate their losses with the Silithan and the Tazari broke 4 millennia of enmity, both succeeding from the Federation and establishing open communications with each other and the humans, an act that would ensure their place as survivors in the Ashen Galaxy. As warned, the galaxy would indeed burn. The humans recalled everything. Independent ships, defense fleets merging mid-transit as colony after colony fell to the weight of the Federation. Those same formerly friendly people turning cold and hard in the face of war for survival. The galaxy had decided to wage war on Sol and her people. In time, they would learn just why humanity had shaken their nearest neighbors. Barely half a decade after the outbreak of war, a dreadnought breached the Earth perimeter. Panicked, by the unexpected defense of humans' Agro colony. Member worlds had concocted a plan. They would break the spirit of humanity by breaking their home. Billions died as the cannon fire rained. The Federation, in their fear, had turned to a heartland of humanity into glass marble, and with it slipped open the gates of hell. Long ago, a lesson had to be learned by all great and powerful species as they vied for dominance of their homelands. A lesson that in time would be forgotten through hubris. A cornered beast will fight with a ferocity yet unseen. A man with nothing left to lose will sacrifice everything for victory. In fear, the Federation had taken the home of humanity. In fear, they had awoken the oldest sins in the hearts of humanity. Wrath had been stirred, and it would not be satisfied. With soul lost, humanity retreated to a strategic system of Agro. While the Federation celebrated their apparent retreat of their foe, the humans worked tirelessly, every man and woman laboring for one goal, vengeance. In under a year, the secrets of the Star Roads lay bare, and the newest weapon of humanity would be seen. The Chitauri home system felt that telling blow first, a great super dreadnought sliding free of a great rift in space-time. Its journey, a Mezec prime unimpeded as the great human host swarmed across the defensive fleet, burning the ships in orbit and swiftly rendering those able to avoid the first barrage into scrap. The galaxy held its breath as the dreadnought engines roared out of the system, as its escorts swarming in its wake. And then the cannon fired. Space and time strained against the stellar shockwave which rushed out in pulses, rendering the home star a sucking black mass at the center of Chitauri space, and every planet a collapsing asteroid field. From their home system, the Tazari and the Silatin could only watch in horror as the Federation fell. Member after member surrendered, forced to watch the most vocal advocates of the war bleed and break as the home systems were reduced to stellar waste. End of story. And that, my friends, concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed.